What is going on, guys? Dolphins fans. We just saw this end of the Jets game, and the Dolphins ended up losing this one. It wasn't. It was. There was just so many bad plays. Like starting from Mike McDaniel's play calling, we were up 3-0. Could have gone up 10-0, but these silly screen passes and these silly runs, I don't know why they weren't throwing the ball down the field more of the game. I mean, we had to throw the ball down the field pretty much in the second half once we went down, but there's just so many missed opportunities. And I'm not blaming Tyler Huntley because, as a backup, he was a serviceable one. But there's just so many concerns. Going 8-9 is very disastrous this season. There's a lot of major problems with this team. I mean, you could talk about Teron Armstead. He's probably going to retire. I wouldn't even want to bring him back. But even, let's talk about someone else. Patrick Paul, he's looked very bad. I watched him closely this game because I've seen some other YouTubers talking about him, and I really wanted to see watching him without, getting into the film. But looking at him, he struggles with pass protection, and he's not really good in run protection. I know it's only a rookie, so hopefully things can change up, but it's not very optimistic looking towards the future. And now we do got to talk about Tua Tagovailoa. This is an injury concern we've had for multiple seasons. So last year was the only year I think he didn't get injured, but he struggled in the playoffs against Kansas City. But this season he got injured twice, and in the beginning part of the season, missed some crucial games. If he was back, didn't put himself in harm's way, we would have made the playoffs, but who knows how far we would have gotten. That's basically the question. But yeah, being out these last two games when the team needs you the most and you're not there, that's a concern. That's why the Dolphins are having a lot of problems. And when people are making these arguments saying, just don't let Tua run so much. He runs the ball like once or twice a game. I mean, we can't even run a QB sneak with him because of how injury prone he is. There's the lingering hip issue. There's a lot of other concerns. He has a very small frame size, which is a concern, which is why we don't run a QB sneak, because we think he's going to get injured every single day, or every single play, whatever. But Miami has a lot of issues. It starts with Tua because he's going to be making about 52, 53 million. But with the offseason looming for Miami, I'm going to be making, some other types of videos, so stay on the update for that. But as a Dolphins fan, this is truly disappointing. 8-9 season. Not even talking too much about this game. I mean, Jonnu Smith was the one bright spot here for Miami this season. He played pretty solid. Tyreek Hill probably needs to go. I would probably get rid of Jalen Ramsey. I would do a full rebuild if I'm Miami, because, running it back one more season, what can we really improve? We don't even have any money. Javon Holland could be gone. There's a lot of concerns here and there. What can Miami truly do? And the main concern starts with Tua, because he's making this much money, but he's not even available. That's what makes me so mad, is we're paying this guy so much money, which we didn't have to pay him last year, because now we could have paid him this offseason, but unfortunately he's under contract. There are some outs which we can talk about later. I don't want to get into that now. I'll break it down all for you guys later. But Miami's in a difficult decision-making process. Chris Greer could stay. He could get fired. I think he probably should stay just for now. But there's a lot of concerns for Miami. It's just, where can the organization truly go? Because Javon Holland, I mean, how much are you, like, if we do decide to pay him, we don't really have much else money. Even as is, we don't have much else money. I mean, you could say Chubb's gonna be back, Jalen Phillips will be there, but there's just no room for growth. It's not like we have one of these powerhouse offenses, and our defense is depleted. Calais Campbell, hopefully he goes to a Super Bowl contender, but we'll just have to wait and see. He played amazing this year, but that's another concern. We don't have another. We need another starter for a defensive tackle. There's just too many injuries, or there's not even injuries. There's too many holes on this roster, and that's why Miami is in a very difficult decision for the future. Where are they gonna go with little to no money? That's why you basically gotta trade Tyreek Hill. You pretty much have to at this point. Let's just talk about this game a little bit more. One of the bright spots for this game was Devon Achane, even though, he did have over 100 yards, but most of it came on that one big long run. He was solid for the most part. Johnny, like I said, Johnny Smith's always been a pretty solid bright spot, but I believe we have him under contract for one more year, but there's just a lot of concerns outside of that. Talking about Malik Washington, I like what I've seen this season for the most part. He was decent today. Could have been a little bit better. Seems like he's been a solid number 3 receiver. He might need to take it up a notch next year. We'll just have to wait and see. But the offensive line is in shambles. I don't like Mike McDaniel's system saying we don't need more offensive linemen. Don't focus on the offensive line. We'll get the ball out quickly. But McDaniel's play calling is just unbelievably bad. He's running all these screen passes, trying to do all this fancy stuff. But you got to throw the ball down the field. The problem with Miami is all of their passes are super short, and then it's like, it's yards after the catch pretty much. That's a problem. So Miami has a lot of issues. Where are we going to go from here? It's a difficult decision where we're going to go from here, but, as a Dolphins fan, it's a sad day that we missed the playoffs. I will be rooting against the Bills. Hopefully the Broncos could shock them next week. That would be exciting. But so far my teams right now are the Chargers and Baltimore. I'd like to see one of those two teams in the AFC. And in the NFC, I would like to see the Vikings, the Lions, or the Eagles, and maybe even the Commanders. One of those teams I'd like to win the Super Bowl this year. Let me know what you guys think and who's going to go to the Super Bowl, who's going to win it. Let me know what you guys think.